Hey everyone, and welcome back to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk about everything you and your friends are talking about at rehearsal on a water break. And in this week's episode, we have another special group of amazing females to wrap up Women's History Month. And this week, it's all family. We'll also find out what made Cynthia say
that you don't get recognized as much as you should locally most of the time.
And why Beth said,
yeah, I mean, Tournament of Roses, yeah, but it might be longer mileage-wise, but this one I think is going to take a certain cake, so it's pretty cool.
All this and more on this week's episode of On a Water Break.
8 off the Met and go. Welcome to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk everything marching arts.
Everyone, bring it in.
It's time for a water break.
Hey everyone, it's Steven, and we have a great episode this week. And I don't want anyone out there to get jealous, but I get to hang out with some amazing women who are from all over the marching arts activity and just talk about band. And before we see who's on the sideline this week, go subscribe on your favorite listening app, write us a review, share it with a friend. If you've got a good question or a good topic to talk about, shoot us an email at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com, or you can find us on social media and DM us if you want to be on the show. We've got a form now you could fill out if you want to be a guest, so check it out at the link in our bio. So, who is on the sidelines this week? We've got Trish. Been a minute.
Yes, it has.
Heard you felt a little... I'm doing great. But I heard you felt a little called out by Jeremy in one of his social media posts this week.
Dude, it's like the stereotype fits. It's like coming in with the Starbucks and the scarf, although I don't really do the scarf thing that much anymore. It's kind of out, Jeremy. But coming in with the Starbucks and the commands from the state, I definitely felt attacked.
Well, it's funny. I always am walking in late with Starbucks, so I felt a little attacked myself, I guess. But Cynthia, we've also got you on the sidelines this week, and I have not spoken to you in a very long time.
Yes, it's been too long. I was looking yesterday, and I think it's like end of August.
Wow.
I know.
Well, I'm really happy to have you back up on the show. How's Winterguard going in Canada?
It's going too fast, but it's going very well. I'm with the 3 same organizations, but mainly with Third Legend this year, and it's going well. We are karma catting big time with the rankings, but yeah, things are going really, really well.
Well, it's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Maybe we'll get a chance to talk a little more later, but I totally agree about the season going so quick. I don't know if Dayton's early this year or what it is, but I feel like it has been the fastest season I've been a part of, honestly.
See, and I thought it was me. Because you know how when you have those seasons that aren't going as well as you'd hoped, and you're like, oh, 2 more weeks, 3 more, whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't want this season to end. I thought it was just me, but I guess it's not. I guess it's going fast for everyone.
Yeah, I feel like it's flying by. Like, really, really wish I had more weeks, but I don't. I'm going to be in Dayton very soon. So that's rough. But we'll get more time to talk about that in a little bit. I can't wait one more second to say, Beth, you're back.
Hello. Yes, I know it has been, I think, even longer than Cynthia, maybe. I have lost track, so...
It's entirely possible.
I deserve the buzzer, for sure. I've earned that. Yeah, it's been a hot minute, and I am excited to be here. Very much excited, because I have a little something that we get to talk about tonight. So I'm excited about that. And I don't know, I think people are excited to hear it.
I'm excited to get into it. Always love when we got a new segment. Always love having an old familiar face on the call. It's nice to see you here.
Thanks, Stephen.
But Ann Turner joining us again. How are you doing, Ann?
Good. Thanks for having me back. It's always a fun time to join the On the Water Break crew.
Yeah, we did a performer spotlight, I think, back. Man, would that have been like in 2023?
Yeah, I think it's probably been about 2 years, which is crazy to
Yeah, that is a while ago. The show's been going for a while now. But yeah, we did a performer spotlight back a while ago. Ann and I marched together my age out summer of drum corps at Crown. So we're tight. I'm glad to have you on the show tonight. And yeah, thanks for joining. But
yeah, of course.
I want to take a couple minutes here and just preview a couple amazing episodes and bonus content we have going on. Really cool, fun call that I just got to do a couple days ago on a water break with Gonzaco. Super fierce bass drum duo from California. They put together a really fun video called More Bass into Club. You should check it out. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen like a more well-produced independent bass drum video ever, or really drumline in general. Like it's its own kind of new thing. They're charting new territory, and you should go check it out. We've got a really special episode coming out soon. It's called On a Water Break in Crisis, where Alicia and a panel of hosts talk about recent tragic events that unfortunately have happened in our activity, including a shooting in Texas, fires in California, and how we as an activity can and should respond to these sorts of tragic events. They even got to talk to staff members that were affected from Palisades High School, where their school was devastated by one of the wildfires in California. So that's a real special episode. Definitely something new to us, unfortunately, but we're happy to make that one, and we think you should check it out. And then finally, on a water break around the world, Granis Paranda is interviewing marching arts people from around the globe. Check out his recent episode with Kosin Suprastitwong, the president of the Marching Band Association of Thailand, and everything else that he is doing globally. So that's huge. That's an awesome episode. You should definitely go check it out. Now, Beth has something to talk about, and we're super excited to share it. So, Beth, take it away.
Whoop. So, yes, I do have something super exciting to talk about. For those of you that don't know, I am the director of sales and marketing for Peak Group Travel. And we primarily focus on performance tours for marching bands, concert bands, choirs, orchestras, indoor guard, winds, percussion, you name it. We'll get you where you want to go. And we are so excited to be a new sponsor for the On a Water Break podcast. Yes, it's super exciting. I feel so fortunate since I started with the podcast, right? Like pretty much from its infancy, and to be able to give back now and to be a partner in this fashion is just super exciting. So we are going to be doing weekly tips about how to get your group on the road and things to do when you're on the road, how to handle certain maybe weird things that happen. Because I think at this point, after doing this job for almost 10 years, I can tell you about very strange and unique situations that kids find themselves in when they're on tour with a variety of ensembles. So what I'd love to do now, though, is introduce our first commercial. So here we go. Ready to elevate your travel game? Welcome to Peak Group Travel, the ultimate adventure creators. Whether you're planning an unforgettable class trip, a once-in-a-lifetime parade experience for your marching band, or a choir tour full of memorable performance venues, Peak Group Travel handles it all, so you can focus on making memories. From breathtaking international destinations to amazing adventures right here at home, Peak Group Travel customizes every journey to your vision. We're not just planners, we're your partners for the trip you want for your students. Our online registration portal makes managing your pre-trip experience smooth and convenient. We even collect your payments if you'd like. Picture it, effortless planning, unmatched experiences, and smiles that last long after the journey ends. That's the Peak Group Travel difference. And if you choose to partner with Peak on your next tour, and you mention that you heard about us on the On a Water Break podcast, you'll earn a $100 trip credit. Discover why groups everywhere trust Peak Group Travel. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and be sure to visit peakgrouptravel.com today. You pick the date, and we'll make it great.
Wow, that is fantastic. I know we all here at On a Water Break are so excited about this partnership, and we think it's going to be incredible. And man, I mean, what a great thing. I mean, I know my Winter Guard, this is their first trip to Dayton this year, and I didn't really handle any of the logistics. The band director and the school kind of did all of that. But I wish we would, I mean, maybe you can help us in the future. I think that would be amazing. So welcome to On a Water Break, and I think this is going to be an incredible partnership.
Well, thank you, Trish. Yeah, we're very excited because we have a lot of resources, both domestic and international. So, maybe this year it's Dayton and maybe next year it's Vienna. You never know where you're going to spin, toss, or catch, wherever you want to go. Yeah, we're very excited. We have a lot of great ideas and a lot of great tips, and we're excited to get a broader audience and share more of what we know with everybody because we all know we've been in the front of the band bus, the back of the band bus. We've loaded them. We've done all the stuff. So we know what it's like. And our team and our staff, we're all either current or former band members in some fashion or another. Whether it was high school, college, we have community band people. We are definitely performers at heart in our own office. So we're really excited about this.
So has anybody on here right now had any unfortunate travel experiences with their groups that, maybe they could kind of troubleshoot with Beth a little bit?
So my first time going to Dayton in 2017, brand new indoor ensemble. Would have been great to have your services because let me tell you, I don't know how we found our housing site, but we were sleeping in like a warehouse for an interior design or like construction company. There was like zero heating in this warehouse. And then we had to pack everything up every day and put it in this tiny little room because they were actively opening business in the morning to like show people their flooring samples.
Oh my. We would try to avoid that for you.
I
can assure you of that. Every situation is unique, but yeah, we would definitely. That's a unique one. I'm glad you recovered. I'm guessing you weren't very. It's tougher. It's easier with students who are a little more flexible about sleeping on floors. When you get to some of the grown-ups, they're not as.
Oh yeah.
Right. We're not as willing, and we don't have the joints we used to. So but I'm glad you still were able to make it to the show and perform well.
Yeah, like you said, it goes for international, and I would be very curious to see because you're the specialist of this, but after COVID, every prices went up so much
They sure
that
did.
our director, Vincent, well, there are two directors, but Vincent and Kevin, they found a bus company that caught almost a good chunk off. I don't want to say the amount because I don't know anymore. I'm not director, thank God. But we have to drive 2 hours away to get to Ontario to pick the bus, to get to the bus there because it's an Ontarian company and it wouldn't cross the province border to get to us.
No kidding.
We're right by Montreal, which usually is everything is more affordable when you go to Montreal because it's the center of everything. But yeah, so the kids are on top of the 8-hour drive to go to Bethlehem this weekend. They have to do another 2-hour drive to get to the bus. And it'll be the same for WGI. But it's
It is what you do. And every group has a budget, right? Everybody has limited funds. I don't think I know any ensembles that have just a bottomless pit of money that they can just draw from and travel with. So, we are definitely aware of those challenges, and we definitely try to figure out the most affordable option that's also the most convenient because, like you said, an additional 2 hours, that turns into 4 because it's 2 hours going, but then it's another 2 hours on the return. So, everything tacks on. So I'm sorry that that's going on for you, but yeah, it does. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes with we have a unit or a group that's in a more remote section, it can be an extra challenge, but we're here to meet that challenge and rise to it and help solve that problem for you. So we're excited.
Okay, everyone. Well, it's Power Regional Weekend, so we're going to get back out there and we're going to tech that flag feature. So we'll be back in a minute.
Celebrating its 25th anniversary, Guard Closet was founded as a consignment shop in 2000. Since then, it has grown to become your one-stop shop for the marching arts.
Do you need consignment uniforms and flags for your color guard, marching band, or drumline? We have thousands of sets of consignments in stock and ready to ship.
Do you need show design and custom choreography? Our designers have years of experience in the marching arts.
Do you need to sell your items and clear out your storage areas? We take in more than 600 sets of consignments each year and return hundreds of thousands of dollars to our consigners for their sales.
Do you need to have your students order shoes, gloves, and other equipment? We can set up a microsite for easy student ordering of a wide variety of items.
Do you need custom costumes or flags? We can help get you great designs from our team through top vendors like Show Day Designs.
Have you listened to our podcast On a Water Break? Weekly episodes and bonus content keep you entertained and informed with what's going on in the marching arts.
For over 25 years, Guard Closet has been here to help. Check us out at guardcloset.com or follow us on social media.
All right, we are back. And before we get into the news, real quick, I got to promote something I'm super excited about. It's going to drop, I think, the same day that this podcast episode is out. So if you're listening to this, you should be able to go find it right now. But Anne and I just got to interview Julie Davila, a really, really well-experienced percussion adjudicator for DCI and WGI, who really is just stretching to do all types of things in the activity. Anne, what did you think of that interview?
Yeah, it was a really awesome conversation to have. I mean, we got to talk what's next in the activity. We got to talk a little bit about judging, touched on the whole WGI scene that we have going on right now. So yeah, I think it's super insightful, especially if there's anyone out there who might have some interest in becoming a judge. You can get a little bit of insight in there. We also got to talk bass drum just a little bit, which was super fun.
Yeah, I was honestly, I don't know why I was shocked that I was going to get to talk to Julie Davila about bass drumming, but it was
You stuck it in there.
It was like totally warped my brain to talk to her about this all. Well, it was awesome. You should definitely go check it out. If you're listening to this podcast, you'll probably love it. I think it's one of the best episodes that we've recorded, in general. So give it a listen. You're going to like it. And Beth, I think you've got our first news story for tonight, right?
I do.
Let's kick it off.
Wait, I come back, and I'm right off the bat. I'm in. I feel
We're
like
all
I'm
about Beth.
Put to the test right off the bat.
Act like you never left.
It kind of feels that way, honestly. I'm not going to lie. But anyway, I don't know if anybody is good with math or what next year might be, but 2026 will be, and it's kind of a big deal, especially when you live in the Philadelphia region, because that's kind of where it all started. Now, New York will try to tell you it's them, and DC will try to horn in, and Boston, of course. But we all know, Philadelphia is the home of the Liberty Bell and Independence Hall, where everything was signed.
Yeah, exactly. And they're all posers. Continue.
Yeah, kind of. Beantown. Yeah, whatever. So anyway, here in the Philadelphia area, the Philadelphia Parade that year will be on July 3rd to honor the 250th birthday. And we are going to have international groups from around the world that are going to be marching. We've got unique marching units coming from around the country, the United States. We've got not just bands, we've got all kinds of unique marching ensembles, and you're not going to want to miss it. So if you go to marching.com, you can read all about it. Todd Marcacci, who was a guest on our show, we did a great interview with him about all things parades a few years ago. He is living his best life, best life, because he started, if you remember the episode, he started with parades in his own backyard, and now he gets to the 250th birthday in the United States. And it's such a full circle moment for him, for his production company, and for the country. And it's going to be pretty massive and pretty impressive. It's not a long parade. It's only about 2.4 miles, but it is definitely going to be significant to see it and be a part of it. And Peak Group Travel is proud to be a little part of it too, helping to do some travel arrangements for the units that are coming, both international and domestic. So check it out on marching.com.
Yeah, that's awesome. That literally sounds like the biggest parade that I could think of.
Yeah. I mean, Tournament of Roses, yeah, but it might be longer mileage wise, but this one I think is going to take a certain cake. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, once every 250 years. So
yeah, and some of us are old enough.
Be around.
Right. Some of us are, old enough to remember the centennial in 1976. Some of us, not all of you, but some of us. So it's kind of a cool thing, because I grew up outside of Philly, and I remember that there was Conestoga wagons that came through Valley Forge, and it was a big deal then, but that was from the eyes of a very young person. I will say that I was very young when it happened. But yeah, so next year's going to be pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm excited to see that as a Philly native.
Yes.
All right, Cynthia, I think you got the next story for us.
Yes. And I love those story that is like the most foreign thing ever in life, because we don't have that. But the University of South Alabama just held a special ceremony on March 14th to celebrate their new space that they're going to have in January 2026, but everyone knows that building something hopefully it's going to be delivered on January for them. But I have to read this. So it's going to be a full house ensemble rehearsal hall with a drumline rehearsal studio, a color guard rehearsal studio, a dressing room, office, a music library, storage for uniforms, instruments, props, gear, a full-size lighted practice field. So like, this is massive. Like,
yeah, it sounds it.
Well, damn.
So yeah, so good for them. And for people that have gone to South Alabama, like those tour drum corps are going to look at that spot and try to get in because it seems fabulous. It seems box 5 space in South Alabama.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
Swamp Tour just got a whole lot better with that facility.
Yep.
Well, that's cool. I definitely am jealous of those kids, or at least happy for them. That's a great, great facility for them to get.
Okay, so for my first news article, you know how I love a good alumni corps. I was super fangirling over the Crossman last summer. Well, wait no more, because here comes Spirit of Atlanta, and I know that this is going to be amazing. They are going to perform semifinals night, and it is the Corps' 50th anniversary. And they're all just really excited. They have the alumni corps director, Brad Caraway, said it's a celebration of everything that Spirit of Atlanta has meant to many generations of members and fans. And he said that a lot of people are coming back to recreate memories and to rekindle friendships that have lasted a lifetime. I mean, isn't that just what it's all about? And we're super excited to see them. I love good alumni corps, and also another shout out to my little cousin Ailey, who's marching with the competing corps this year. So I know it's going to be double exciting. So it's going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I don't know how those alumni do it, because
some
of them are not fresh out of the unit. Some of them are definitely need a little more joint lubrication before they go out on the field. So I'm excited. Or whatever.
Or that.
So yeah, it'll be exciting to see what they do and how they do it. I mean, the ones I've seen in the past, like you said, Crossman and Bluecoats, the alumni corps they did were just, even for somebody
incredible.
Like me who'd never marched corps, it's pretty impressive. It's very impressive to watch. So
absolutely. Okay, Anne, what do you have for us tonight?
So I know getting a job in the marching arts is something that a lot of people can get excited for. So if that's an opportunity that you've been looking out for, now's a good time to dust off the old resume and start freshening it up, because we have a employment opportunity with WGI for the digital marketing manager. So if you've ever thought graphic design is my passion, this was a great one for you. It's going to be full-time in office out of Dayton, Ohio. So for all of my Ohio natives, you'd have to relocate. If you're not currently in Dayton, Ohio, but you get to do some great branding with them, you'll be designing engaging graphics, you'll be coordinating with social media personalities, managing the Facebook, Instagram, the TikTok, planning out all of those ads, doing merchandise design, promotion, and sales. Some qualifications that they're looking for: got to be good at graphic design, have proficiency with the Adobe suite, a good understanding of design and marketing and social media management, and of course, being able to work independently while also having a team environment.
I mean, if I got that job, I mean, think about it. I could be a regular at the Spaghetti Warehouse.
There you go.
Like, I could just have dinner there, and not have it be World Championships.
Also, Bippy Bop. If you've ever been to Bippy Bop for Dubai Championships, it's like a Chipotle, but for Asian food, it's pretty fantastic. It's a staple.
Okay, putting that on the list. So if you want to eat at all those great establishments out there, people, apply for the job. Recently, we had Jenna Foley on, and she was talking about drum corps, and obviously one of the main topics when people talk about DCI and summer tour is the cost. And there's a lot of people have kind of said that, well, what does the money go toward? Is there a lack of transparency as far as how it actually breaks down? Well, Pacific Crest responded to that And they have a link on their website that breaks down how much percentage goes to this and that. And it's really, really a good read. If you're a vet, you get a discount on your tuition. It's not much. It's $150, but it's something. Volunteer credits, if you have family or friends that volunteer. But then it just tells you exactly what you get for your money. 70 days of intensive performing arts program, and the music choreography instruction, and the use of the instruments, and rehearsal gear, and performance shoes, and above the dues, what you also owe, your own transportation home from championships, and there's pie charts, and it really, really, really breaks it down. So for those who are questioning, well, I'm paying all this money, what does it go to? Check out Pacific Crest. They have it broken down almost to the penny, and it's a really, really good read. It's all on their website. You can check it out, Pacific Crest.
Yeah, good for Pacific Crest for getting that up. That's always something that I wondered about as a marching member. I'm like, I'm paying all of this money, but where is it going?
Right.
So that's awesome to be able to see it broken down.
Yeah. No, it's a really good read. I'm hoping more chords do that this summer as well. But what can we clean out? We worked on the flag feature already. I don't know. Maybe we need to have the movement person come in and work on the dance feature. So while we're doing that, we'll be back.
Marching by Montez is a visual design business based out of Raleigh, North Carolina, but provides services to ensembles all across the country. Our services include custom drill and staging for marching bands, indoor winds, indoor percussion, and winter guards, as well as custom band and guard choreography for all 3 winter idioms and marching bands. We now offer program coordination for ensembles throughout the U.S. and custom graphic design for all of your uniform, props, flags, and floor needs. In-person and virtual program consultation options are now available through Marching by Montez, as well as custom sound design for your indoor winds backing tracks, winter guard soundtrack, and show soundscape needs. Visit us at marchingbymontez.com, contact us at joey@marchingbymontez.com, and check us out on social media at Marching by Montez.
Okay, everyone, we are back, and it is time for our 60-second tech block. This is the segment when one of our hosts or guest clinicians is put on the spot to deliver a nonstop 60-second tech section on a topic that needs some serious attention after that last run. Our special tech this week has come prepared with 3 topics that they think they can talk about for a full 60 seconds straight. No hesitation, no pauses, just pure technical gold. And this week, let's see, I think we'll throw it over to Beth. Beth, you said your best topics were, number 1, ons and offs of bus travel. Mm-hmm. Number 2, where should you go next and why may it surprise you? And number 3, Orlando, other than the mouse. Okay, everyone, what topic do you think Beth should do?
I think it has to be on and offs for the bus travel.
Yes,
I feel like that's
please.
a pretty important one to make your day go smooth.
Okay, everyone. All right, Beth, are you ready?
Yes.
On and off.
Your timer.
And can you pull up a 60-second timer on your phone for us?
Why, yes, I can.
And I can see it.
All right. 60 seconds on the clock. And go.
So, bus travel is obviously critical to most of our performance tours and most of the ones everybody experiences. Oh my God. So 60 seconds. So the important thing about bus travel is you need to make sure that you are proactive before you even start your trip. You want to make sure you've got a dedicated crew for unloading the bus underneath. You want to make sure everybody understands how you're going to take attendance on the bus so that everybody understands, are you using the number method or using the seat buddy method? Is there an app that you're checking in on? So you always want to make sure that you have that. You always want to make sure that you have that established beforehand, because that will make sure that once you get to your destination or once you get to the next part, you're already done. So whoever your bus captain is can just get on and start the count, or say, okay, all of you that are designated as the unloaders, time to get off the bus, they get off first, and then the next crew will get the attendance done. Everybody has a role, they already know it, and as long as you plan ahead before you do your bus trip, you should have no
that's
problem.
60 seconds. Beautiful.
Yes.
Woo, thank you.
Not under the wire. That was awesome.
Yeah, wow. I don't think I've ever felt that intense about bus travel.
It's
wrapped up right
it's all
down to the
helpful
second.
tips we could use.
But yeah, it is. And it really, in all seriousness, though, being proactive about it, having a plan going in and not waiting until you're on the bus to be like, oh, I guess I got to take attendance. And it's much easier than using like a sheet of paper or, old school people like
Absolutely.
us. If you any kind of digital method you can take advantage of, whether you use the Band app, Remind app. We actually have an app for all of our tours that's complimentary with all of our tours. So even if you don't already use one, we have one that you can use. So, definitely it's critical to have a plan and then stick to the plan.
Well, let me tell you guys, that was a solid 60-second tech block. Hopefully someone out there just got the tech advice that they didn't know they needed. But now it's time to switch it up. It's time for everyone's favorite. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
So this is the part of the show where we let loose just a little bit, or maybe a lot. This is your chance to rant about something in the marching arts that just doesn't make sense. Maybe it's a tradition that needs to go. Maybe it's a habit that performers can't seem to break. Maybe it's something that makes you think, why are we even doing this? Or why haven't we started doing this yet? Whatever it is, this is your moment to call it out. So who's got something that they need to get off their chest? Oh, I know. I'm first on the list. So I just heard recently, because I love a good hot cup of tea, and I've heard from several people that recently at a local show up here in the Northeast, there was a confrontation between a very well-known director and an equipment judge. And what are we doing? I mean, listen, I'm as high strung as they get. And I've been kind of stern at times myself, but where it gets to, people are like yelling at each other across tables, and, chief judges and stuff have to kind of interfere and, kind of cooler heads prevail. That's not okay. That's not what we're about. That's not what we're doing here. So what are we doing going after the judges? They're people just like us, and, not cool.
Well, right. They're not getting paid like a ton of money to do it. It's not like they're making, that kind, so, hey, we're all in this trying to do better for the students, right?
Exactly.
We're all in this for the performers.
Exactly.
So let's keep that in mind. Keep it in perspective, what we're doing. What are we doing? What are we doing about it? So let's keep it right size, folks.
Exactly.
And
Cynthia, what are we doing?
Can I just piggyback on that?
Because absolutely, and then go right into your what are we doing?
Because I don't want but going in critique is hard. Well, first of all, how can I say this and not, me? I need to find the right words. Sometimes judges can be harsh and you can
absolutely
disagree. And we all have that one or two judges that we're like, ugh,
right.
And it's not like we're not. I was listening to Ellen Pompeo today podcast that she did, and we don't like everyone, and not everyone likes us, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, being a good staff outside of your gym is to make sure that you're getting as much credit as you can for your team, and picking a fight with a judge that doesn't see what you want him to see doesn't help in the simple sense that whether we don't want to prejudge as educators, if you yelled at me a rehearsal, whenever, I'm not saying I'm going to judge you harshly, but do you really want to, you need to be smart about, and then some people are going to call that politics. I don't think we should be friends with people just to have points, but I
I
understand.
agree with you 110%. I do, because I've been there too. Like, I have a couple, like you're saying, there's a couple judges, you're like, oh, okay. But I've heard this story from two different people. So obviously it's a thing. And people are talking about it. If I heard it from two different people are talking about it. People are talking negatively. And you just don't want that. I wouldn't want that reputation. I wouldn't want that reputation as like, oh, here comes Northern Valley. I wouldn't want that. So,
Especially
it's
in the marching
unfortunate.
arts.
It's really unfortunate.
Word travels so fast. If you're
It
going to yell at a
does.
judge, everybody's going to know within a week.
Yeah.
1,000%.
And like, I've been at a WGI, I was going to call it provincial. That's a French thing, but a regional, where I walked out of a critique and being like, what just happened? Like, I didn't agree with all this and stuff. And the caption heads, especially at WGI level, like they have little special powers where they see the staff that are kind of unhappy, even though like I'm not a very like loud person. And he came up to me and was like, well, that's why there's review. That's why there's like, you can go see the chief judge. And I don't know now, but then WGI had like a full on survey that you can fill in, being like, this is what happened. This is the tape. This is whatever. And
our local circuit has that in New Jersey. Our local circuit has that.
And as a judge, like, this is a way to protect them and a way to represent us. And when you go the right path, everyone's going to learn out of this. The judge too, like the educator too. Like me starting my educator career, like I wish I had a survey every show so I can have a feedback of some sort. Obviously not like that, but yeah.
So Cynthia, while you got the hot mic there, what are we doing?
Yeah. So we are in like the crunch cleaning time, or maybe you should have. And I'm a nerd. I'm a tech nerd, big time. And what are we doing being scared of teching one-on-one? And I'm trying to not use the word call out, because I understand that there's like a bad connotation to like calling out someone. But when you're at this part of the season, when we're cleaning, just giving counts and just saying like, make sure you're on 8 or blah, 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 is not enough.
No, it's too late for blanket statements. Definitely.
Yes. So you like giving information is relevant always. Like whether it's one-on-one or whether it's general, but at this point of the season, the technicians, we need to get in there and go one-on-one and be like, hey, this is what's happening, or let's figure it out why it's happening. You are late on one. You think like, I'm thinking of Third Legend because it's a group that I'm working the most with. And I don't know if you've seen the program, because you should have, because it's amazing. But there's absolutely no tempo, like absolutely no tempo. And like, it's not a regular tempo. There's a tempo. But the designer recorded his voice counting on top of the music. So we rehearse with the music with the designer counting on top of it.
Oh, interesting.
I've had done that before when there's like chaos moment or free moment or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But this year, like, there's some of us that are musicians, there's some of us that are singers, and we were like, it's a 69-ish tempo because it's just a piano and Celine singing together. Yeah. So there's 20 kids. There's, I don't know how many staff, where there's so much of us. I was like, a lot of us were saying like, there's going to be so much interpretation, as many humans as there is. So we're rehearsing with this. So tips, just a tip and trick. But we are now to the like getting to the kids. And I think that the earlier you go and talk one-on-one to the kids, the less they're going to feel attacked when you do it later on. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm a big advocate of like, even the first weekend when we're doing tech blocks, I'm going to say like, not just, oh my God, I'm venting a lot. Not just, this is too high. This is not techie enough. No. The kids are not paying just to know it's too high. They need to know why it's too high and what they need to correct. And when you start doing one-on-one like this, you as a tech become better. Your eyes become sharper. You catch so much more stuff. So yeah. So if I can throw something out there, so we have cleaner shows at the championship, start doing one-on-one and force yourself as a tech to get further into the helping why it's happening and not just what's happening.
Agreed.
I have to think that making it normal from the beginning of the season would normalize it. So then it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't feel quite as intense for the individual, because one calling out, so to speak, or having those one-on-ones can be positive too. It could be, okay, you did that. You did that one, so I think conversely, it can be a huge benefit. I just remember, back in my day, we would listen to the tapes, the next Monday in the band room, and it was clear. It was like, oh, look at the judge would be like, oh, there's a big gap between, the tall clarinet player and the shorter flute player. And like, everybody knew who that was. And, it wasn't really hard to figure out who it was, at the time. And it's a big put on the spot, but I think on some level though, it's almost like, okay, but now I know I might get called out, so I'm going to be a little bit better, even if, because then it's kind of anonymous, because the judge doesn't necessarily know who you are. It's not like your director saying, Beth, you did it wrong. It's more like, hey, there was a problem, and now I'm like, oh, I don't want to be the one on the tape. I'll make sure that gap gets closed next time. And
absolutely.
It worked. So, I think it's, a little bit of tough love isn't always bad either.
Yeah.
I think
and the kids, the relationship that I have with the kids now, because I'm not that I'm known, but everyone knows that I'm that type of technician. They know that I have their back. Like, I'm there to support them. I'm there for them. I'm there for them to be the best that they can be. And for me to get better, like, I want to be a better tech. And for that, I have to go one-on-one and diagnosing and going deep into things, going Dr. House into problems that you don't even understand what's going on. And further on, like, when I worked at Cirque du Soleil, I'm dropping names. When I worked at Cirque du Soleil, like, after a show or after a run, there was notes given to everyone, legit notes, and they were called in front of everyone. And at this point of the season, like, I'm doing one-on-one tapes where I look at their shows and I'm doing a one-on-one tape for them to be like, be careful of this, you need to do this, blah, blah, blah. While I did it for Philly's regional, we're going to do it for Bethlehem. So they listen to this, they go to rehearsal with something, like, they know that I'm not just calling out, like, we're not just calling out. And I'm saying this, I'm not the only one in that gym doing it, because it's now just one of the reasons why this gym is so successful right now. Mm-hmm. It's because we're one. We're just That's one. Amazing. Everyone's one. Yeah.
It's showing on the floor too. It really is.
Do you like it?
I love it. It's one of my favorites. I had forgotten that you were going to be in Philadelphia, and I had seen it, on Flow at Salem. And then when you guys were setting up, I was like, oh, I forgot their legend was here. Yes. So I did get to see it in person. I was really excited. It was great.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, you talking about it, I have goosebumps. We're all deeply, deeply in love with the program, the kids, the experience we're having. It's very a special and magic experience. And if you have the chance to see the program, like, I'm going to always root, like, it's our job to toot our own horns. Yeah. And but I think this program has something very special. The benches, there's like in Salem, we walked into critique with a bench, and some people, and we could see like side eyes from some people because it's intense, but the judges were like in awe of understanding how, like, so we have like tipping bench. I don't know how to say it. We have bench that go back and forth. And a lot of people think it's just like, oh, it's a bench. Like it's kind of okay. But no, there's legit like about 7 inches where you can stay still, like where the bench stays still. Anywhere else that you step outside of that, you need to have control. So it's not just tilting the bench that is hard. It's just sitting on it and it not moving. They do like a quad where they step over the bench and they're like, oh, we've seen this. Like, yeah, I understand. Like, people have seen people doing a toss, stepping over like whatever chair and going down. But no, like the bench moves and it doesn't move. So like it's all of this is just, it's just magical. Anyway, enough about this.
So Beth, what are we doing other than Cynthia bringing a bench to critique?
Yeah, right. So, I mean, clearly I'm not teching, I'm not teaching, I'm not spinning, I'm not merching, I'm not doing anything. So what am I doing, or what are we doing? I'm going to just have to flip it to travel just because, and I think you'll all relate anyway, because what are we doing with these airline prices? Right? See, I didn't even that's all I needed to say. And you all reacted the same way. These airline prices are absolutely redunculous. And I don't know what we're doing. What are we doing with this? We all know corporate profits for them are not hurting. So
Wow.
why, what's going on? So it's really frustrating when I've got a group that wants to just do a trip, normally a trip from like the Northeast to Orlando, used to be like $200 a person. We're seeing
Right.
prices at like $500 a person.
Right.
And
Even
when your
for a big
budget's
group?
only, no, it's just a regular, regular trip, like what you would think, like 75 people total, that including chaperones, including, and it's astronomical, and it's really unfortunate because it makes things inaccessible for some groups. It's just all of a sudden their tour has to change because they can't
Absolutely.
drive, and then that takes time. So then the time they spend at the destination has to be shorter because they have to spend day 1 and day 4 on the road, and it just makes me crazy because I know and also too the variation of what the rates could be, what the airfare could
Right.
be. Like you could book a year out, it could be one price. You book 2 weeks later, it could be another. It's really frustrating. Really frustrating. It's for me. So what are we doing is what I would say to them.
Exactly. Oh, Anne, what are we doing?
So I've noticed specifically in WGI, there will be like nobody has ever done this idea, or it's been years since this idea has been done, and then all of a sudden 3 groups at once come out doing the same thing. And like, what are we doing about the WGI hive mind? I don't understand how that happens. Like specifically for indoor percussion this year. Like we all know our normal marching percussion, and then there's like rope drums, which is what we used back in the colonial days. They've started picking up traction to the point where, at least in my recent history, haven't been aware of any indoor group using a rope drum before, and now 3 world-class finalists have pulled the rope drums out of the closet, and they're all trying to do some unique feature with it, which is now slightly less unique because there are 3 groups doing this new idea all in one season. So I don't know if you guys see that in the color guard world at all, but I just think it's crazy that all of the sudden everybody has the same idea and you see it out on the floor.
Oh yeah, we're seeing that in the color guard world. It's called Hope.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know how different it is because this year Hope, and now I'm geeky and Trish is gonna understand, but Hope feels like the Hemogene Heap song
Yes.
in 2007
Yes.
where everyone was doing it and it was almost like everyone was doing the full song. So yeah, to tell you, Anne, there's like at least 3 but 4 that are using the same song in the show. I don't think it's in the same categories, but even then, and they're all like fairly well known designers of what I've known, and and all respected. Like Becca was like, but we tried to do it too. Like it's from a juxtaposition, like they don't have a reason, they don't have a way to justify. But do you know, like, if those world-class designers and drumline know each other? Like, could it be something that was in someone's back of mind and they were like, oh, they're doing it, so we have to do it now?
I mean, they all kind of know each other, but knowing the groups that are doing it. So the 3 off the top of my head right now are like Broken City, Pulse, and George Mason. So 2 of them are over on the West Coast. So maybe something was brought up there. But to my knowledge, the East Coast designers and the West Coast designers are not as in cahoots with each other, the different regions. So I just thought it was interesting that we got 1 group all the way over here and then 2 groups all the way over there. And I think there might be a high school as well that's brought that out this season.
I'd be afraid to do something that somebody else was doing.
Yeah.
Because then I'd be like, oh crap, they're doing it too. Now we're going to be, even if you're not in the same, category or same, section, like, I'd just be like, oh God, what if they do it better? Or what if they figured out something better to do with it? Or I would like try to avoid that. Try so hard not to do that.
Exactly.
That actually happened in 2022. My 2022 show. So this also comes down to like when you get your show reveal out. So when I was marching Mason, we dropped our show reveal first, and then there's another group in World Class that kind of went, you guys normally place better than we do in WGI, and we're trying to go out with the same concept. So like in the beginning of the season, there was an ensemble that was going to go out with like a kintsugi show, which is like the art of putting pottery back together with gold. And then they just came out with a whole other show. So I bet that design team was scrambling.
I'd freak out. I have so much respect for designers, and because it's so creative and it's impressive to me, that people can do that. So my hat's off to anybody, especially those in this room in particular, who design, teach. It's a commitment, and it's to be applauded. And
Agreed.
it does not go unnoticed, even from novice observers like me.
Absolutely. Okay, it is time for your Peak Group Travel Tip of the Week, brought to you by our sponsors at Peak Group Travel, helping you navigate your next adventure, whether it's across country or just your next competition. Take it away, Beth.
Hello, and this is Beth with Peak Group Travel, and I'm here with your travel tip of the week. This week, I'm going to tell you that if you go on a trip, take advantage of a guided tour, because you can learn more than maybe you might get in a history book or in a travel brochure or online. You'll be able to get some firsthand experience from a tour manager in that city or in that destination. It can usually give you some like personal anecdotes or maybe some stories about the people that live where you're visiting. And it's a really great way to just kind of zhuzh up your trip a little bit more and get a little more weight to it. And if you're trying to satisfy maybe school administrators or teachers back home that are mad that their kids are missing school because they're on a band trip, this is a great way to tie in some education too, to kind of give your tour a little more weight and help the teachers back home feel better about their students missing their class. And that is your travel tip of the week.
Great job, everyone. Set your equipment down. Gush and go.
It is time for our Gush and Goes, and I have the best Gush and Go. I'm so super excited. 2 weeks from tonight, many of us will be in Dayton, Ohio for the Color Guard World Championships. We had the best time last year, the On a Water Break crew. We had our station set up in conjunction with Shoutouts Designs, and we did so many on-scene interviews with people who were just walking by from other groups, other designers, and we did little recaps after every class. It was just the best time, and it was incredible content. So don't miss out on our WGI Color Guard coverage. It was such a good time last year. I can't wait to do it again this year. So it's going to be fantastic. Cynthia, what do you want to gush and go about?
I felt like I did already.
Do it again.
Let's talk about Third Legend again. No, but
let's talk about Third Legend.
Well, I don't know. Third Legend, and then there's Sonor. Like, let's talk about the Canadian internationals. That Pacificaires, which I don't work with, are back this year. So watch out for them, because we always have to look for them, because they're always amazing, and everyone should be inspired by them, because they are. Every time I talk about them, I say that, but they're a dance school that have a color guard program within their dance school.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why they're so good and technically so strong and so young, because it's such a smart business vision that they're doing their thing. But yeah, so they're back. Lazy Clips are going to do their premiere at championship. Well, their premiere. We've been open class before, but they're going back to the open class this year. And Sonor is right now doing really well in the rankings. But for people who know me, you know that I don't like talking about rankings, because I think, especially in A class, it's just a good reason to have a good spot or not in the shows. But the ranking itself, don't get attached to it, because it's just, you need to perform at prelims. But I can go on this. But Sonor is doing really, really well with Michael Wetzy as the designer, and very new young technicians, and older. The ladies are not gonna like me calling them the older technicians, but I'm kind of on the older side too.
Well, it's true. I mean, once upon a time, Michael Wadier, Cynthia, and I all marched on the same football field together. So
Yes.
shout out to you all.
Yeah. And I'm really, really happy that Michael is so well deserving of where he's at with the girls this year.
Absolutely. I'm so happy.
He worked so hard building back up Sonor and that legacy to where it's at right now. And I don't know if it's the same for everyone, but I think that you don't get recognized as much as you should locally most of the time. Like, I don't know if it's a thing. Okay, so you're giggling, but I remember hearing a very well-known designer that has a group with mountains on it. But Rick Subel in one of our podcasts said that he had to move outside of his local circuit to become who he is. Wow. Because locally we have a tendency to, over criticize ourselves. So I'm just really happy that he's getting recognition that maybe he hasn't gotten locally as much. And I'm not saying that we're mean. It's just, I think
no, I get it.
It's just the way it is locally. And of course, Third Legend, that is like right now doing really, really well. And we want to not focus on the rankings because we all know that the rankings are not it. But it's just been like I don't know how to say it. It's just I was thinking about it, and I've been teaching for 24 years now. I've been with organizations that have been ranked in the top 3-4 times. And personally, I have 1 medal. So like, it's not something that you get attached to at all. So it's just that game of telling the kids, like, enjoy what's happening. And of course, everyone wants to be in the top 3, but we can only focus, we have to focus on what we can control, and it's for them to have a good performance and to be proud of their skills. And I know that's like a tagline, but it's the real truth. And then when you're done performing and the ceremony happens, then you can care about the placement type of thing. But yeah.
Anne, what do you want to gush and go about?
So I've been teaching at Spectre Percussion. We're also getting excited for our Dayton. 1 week after you all, I couldn't imagine heading to Dayton in only 2 weeks. So I'm glad that we have 3. But it was, it's not all about the scores. Like, I really love our program this year. I think the kids have made so much progress, but it's always exciting as an ensemble to see your name in first. So after our regional 2 weekends ago, we had the highest score in the country. Yes. So we got a brief moment in first, which was awesome to see.
Very cool.
But of course, with everyone being scattered all over the country, it really is anybody's game. And by the time you make it to finals, so crossing our fingers that the work we put in the next 3 weeks is really going to show up. But finals is just so much fun. I love going every year. You get to see all of your friends that live everywhere across the country. All the staff meets up at a bar, and you're just bumping into people all night. And it's so much fun. I look forward to it every year. And then personally, I just started playing in an orchestra again. So that's been really awesome. So if there are any Virginia natives that listen to the podcast, May 4th, the Richmond Philharmonic Orchestra, we're going to have another concert. It's going to be super awesome. And they're all free because we're sponsored.
Well done.
Hey, wait a minute. I've got something that I want to gush and go on about, actually. The first Monday of every month at noon Eastern Standard Time, we are going to go on a water break live with me, Nicole, Jackie. We're going live.
Wait, what are we doing?
We're going live.
Oh.
Every Monday. The first not every Monday. The first Monday of every month.
Okay.
At 12 p.m. Eastern, we're going live on a water break. We're going to talk about marching arts news. Going to talk about what's new with the podcast. Yeah. We're going to talk about all this types of new stuff that's coming out. And you're going to be there, Nicole.
I am going to be there.
Now I'm going to be there, and I'm so excited because I've missed you guys so much.
I know. We haven't had calls together in so long. It's going to be great.
Right? So now we have a standing date every month on a Monday.
Every Monday.
Going up on
Monday. Every month. Only one. The first Monday. I can't even get it straight.
But I
But
think
we're
it'll be
going.
fun. Like
It's
we're
going to
gonna
be a
be,
blast.
letting people know what's going on with the On the Water break, and catching up with each other as well.
And it's live. So
And
you,
it's
the
live.
listener, could pop in and you can ask us questions, or you could talk about whatever you want. We'll be monitoring the chat too. So you can get in there. You can be engaged with it. You can go on a water break with me, Nicole, and Jackie live every month, only on the first Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
First Monday. Yes. Boom. Got it.
I'm so sorry. Like, she did not shut up for the whole thing.
She wants to be live on Monday with us.
She wants to be live on Mondays. I was like, okay, I'll start talking and jumping in as soon as she stops talking. And she did not stop talking the whole time.
That's so funny.
We'll call her a quick sip. We'll get a quick sip.
She's a very quick sip.
All right. Well, Trish, you can take this one from here. Let's get back to that next Gush and Go.
Excellent. All right, Beth, it's your turn. What do you want to gush and go about?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I want to gush and go on. I've got two little things I want to talk about. One of them,
Okay.
I want to give a shout out real quick to my alma mater, Downingtown West High School. Their indoor drumline was actually in an accident, a bus accident on their way to a competition. Fortunately, I have a happy ending, so I'll start there so nobody freaks out.
Good.
But they overcame that. They weren't able to perform that day because they couldn't get the bus to the competition. However, they came right back. They didn't let it deter them, and I'm just proud of them for their resilience and their wherewithal. And they all the students stayed calm and handled themselves very well. It could have been a much worse situation, but fortunately, everybody came out with non-life-threatening situations, which was great. So I want to give them a shout out, and I also want to give a shout out. I was kind of like Anne. I want to say that I'm on the board of trustees for a foundation that actually provides scholarships to students who want to travel. And that could be going to Dayton. It could mean going to their band trip. It could be anywhere they want to travel. And we are in the process of reviewing some applications now. And it's an incredibly rewarding experience for me, for the Student Youth Travel Association Youth Foundation. And I'm really proud of that work and proud to be part of giving back to this community that has given me so much, both professionally and personally. So that's what I'm going to gush and go on about.
I love it. That's incredible. Okay, I'm going to turn it over for a quick second to our producer, Jeremy.
Hey, it's called Gush and Go, not Gush and Stay. Let's go.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for a great rehearsal this week, and what a great way to show off more amazing women in band for Women's History Month. Thank you, Stephen. Maybe we'll let you be part of this rehearsal even though you dipped out. Cynthia, Anne, Beth, let's make sure all the listeners go and follow Peak Travel. Where can they find you all?
So we are on Facebook, Peak Group Travel. We are on Instagram at peak.group.travel. We are on LinkedIn. And now we're on the On a Water Break podcast too. So you can check us out here as well. Our website is www.peakgrouptravel.com. And I also want to do a little bit of a tag for my colleague, Charlie, because he kind of really helped me get this thing going. And I just want to make sure he gets a nice little zhuzh. And I should have given him a shout out and Gush and Go, but I'm going to just do it right here anyway. So he's my partner in crime, and I just wanted to give that shout out. So, but look for us on the interwebs, and we will respond in kind.
Excellent. Well, if you got a question or a good topic to talk about, email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com or find us on social media and DM us if you want to be on the show. We even have a form now to fill out if you want to be a guest. We love having people on the podcast. So check us out on our link in bio on our social media. Or you could just take out your phone, make a video, and send it to us. And maybe you'll see yourself on the podcast soon. One more thing. Don't forget we have a YouTube channel now. So go and subscribe so that you can see us all there. Also, before you close out of your podcast listening app, go subscribe, write us a review, and share this with a friend. Follow us on social media at On a Water Break, and we will see you at the next rehearsal on a water break.
The On a Water Break podcast was produced by Jeremy Williams and Christine Ream. The intro and outro music was produced by Josh Lyda. To learn more, visit lydamusic.com. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.